You and I started off this year hoping that we might, 2024 might be the year of memory because we think these agents are going to become infinitely more useful to us when we don't have to prompt them about all the things we've done in the past. And we've also seen everybody begin to roll out actions. Every company now, Gemini has talked about it. We saw computer use out of Anthropic. I took note that Sam said recently that tools and agents that can do things like book airline tickets are at least as important as better models. We will have better and better models, but I think the next giant breakthrough will be with agents and their actions. I think that these, again, they're not either or. Right? The core models will get more capable, multimodality, inference time reasoning, post-training. But I also think we finally see out of these companies a real cadence around product improvements, memory, actions, voice, right?
Yeah.
That just dramatically increase the utility of these things, which then leads to massive increase in token production or inference. And that inference has got to run somewhere, right?
No doubt.
So that doesn't, and then when I look at ChatGPT, you could see the numbers that are out there publicly. It certainly does not seem to be slowing down. In fact, if anything, accelerating. So I think those are indicators, right? Because I've heard that Claude and other models Perplexity are doing well as well. I think those are indicators on the consumer side, right? That consumers are finding more and more utility. And I think 25 with these product improvements, I think that could be another step function unlock in terms of consumer use.
And enterprise use. I mean, I all those things, memory, voice, they can be utilized in an enterprise, fashion, for sure. And will be. And so, yeah, I think you're right about that. I think those innovations will matter for the exact same reason you said, which is utility will go up.
I think Snowflake said on their call tonight, 3,200 of their customers, so they have about 10,000 enterprise customers, 3,200 of them are using some of their AI use cases, AI products now in daily use. So again, starting to see some of that indication. I noted that Microsoft, which is on a $66 billion run rate at Azure, has said they expect Q1 and Q2 Azure revenue to accelerate. Think about that, Bill. Azure's growing at 34% on a $66 billion base, and they say they expect it to accelerate. So it's really significant growth on big software businesses. And I think what we've seen in the season is that software certainly has not decelerated. If anything, it's accelerated after a couple of years of digestion, I think, around this. But, if I had one takeaway, having watched all of this, I would agree with you. And you've been, rattling my cage about this for a year. And I think you've been proven at least partially right that we're seeing a deceleration in the rate of improvement on pre-training. But my conclusion is I don't think it necessarily matters to the consumption on the NVIDIA side. Certainly it would be higher. It could be even more, I suppose, if they were able to produce that many more, which I don't think they can. Yeah. But I think that they're, still in a very strong position. And I think these models, for example, OpenAI could double, triple the number of users of ChatGPT with, frankly, not making any improvements in the core model because consumers today barely scratch the surface on core model capabilities. Product improvements like voice, memory, and actions, I think in and of themselves could drive tremendous traction and revenue increases in that. But I do think they'll still continue to see some of those model improvements. Maybe one area that I know that we've actually seen a tremendous return, I think, on the investment made in AI, and we saw some news this week, is on national full self-driving regulation, right? So the Trump administration announced that they want the DOT to develop a national framework to regulate self-driving rather than the state-by-state framework, right?